let's get started attaching our small pieces together. Now, sometimes people would put the big one on first and get in a position. The problem with that is when I have to attach the little tiny eye, I am now going through 3 layers of fabric. So my best option is to attach the little tiny one to the bigger one, making sure that I have enough space all the way around to attach it to my outside piece in just a minute. So I'm going to set this one aside. I'm just going to work on my eye patch and my white eye. And I need my little tub that has my sewing thread in it and my needles. There should be some needles on this little piece of fabric and they're different in each tub. But make sure that you put it back in here when you get finished. And don't ever let it lying down on the table, because that's a real easy way for it to get lost. So if you stop working for a minute, even if it has thread on it, don't leave it laying on the table. Just attach it to your piece of fabric. When you get finished, you have to unthread the needle and put it back in the tub, since we're sharing these with the other classes. Okay? So I need a piece of white thread because I want my stitches to be as invisible as possible, and white thread's going to do that for me. So when I measure out a piece of thread, I want something that's about 18 inches long. And for most people, that's from their hand to their shoulder. So just measure out a piece about that big. You can use your thread scissors. Make sure every table has a pair of these little gray handled scissors. That way we can, everybody can share them and you have one at your table. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and thread my needle and tie my knot. I have a video that you probably have seen already that shows how to do that. Remember, we're not going to tie the 2 ends together. We're just going to tie a knot on one end while we're attaching these little small pieces. So I'm going to wrap it around my finger 2 times and then roll it off till I have a little loop. When you're threading the needle, don't ever lick the end of it. It is really disgusting, and with these big eye needles, you really don't have to do that. You're better off if you just clip the end of your thread off the end that you're going to thread your needle with. And I'm telling you, if you put spit on your thread, I won't help you. We'll have to do a new piece of thread. Alrighty, so I have this positioned on here where I want it to be, and I have 1 pin in there. And I am going to take the pin out after I get started a little bit because it's going to be in my way. But I always want to start with my needle on the back. Okay, so I'm going to come up through the back. I'm going to be about 1/8 of an inch to 1/4 of an inch, more likely 1/8 of an inch from the edge. Pull up, and we're going to do a running stitch. A running stitch is kind of in and out like this, in and out, in and out. I call it like a dolphin swims. You know how they do this kind of thing? So that's what we're going to do, in and out, in and out. So I'm going to go down, and then I'm going to bend my fabric and come up about 1/8 of an inch away. These should be really tiny, because if we make great big ones, they're going to fall off. I don't need my pin anymore. I'm going to move it, just take it out, put it back in your tub, make another stitch about 1/8 of an inch away, go in and out. This is kind of hard even through 2 layers. Wait till you, don't try to do it through 3. It's really, really difficult. Okay? So again, I'm going to do in and out. And then I think I only have about 1 more to go. Actually, you probably only need 1 because my first stitch is right there. So I'm going to take my needle straight to the back. All right, and I'm going to show you how to tie a knot. Now we don't want any part of our knot tying to show on the front. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here to one of these other stitches close by and slide my needle under that last little stitch. I'm not going all the way through the fabric. And I make a little tiny loop. And make your loop pretty small before you do the next step. And I'm going to go through and pull it tight. I'm going to go back under that same stitch, make a little tiny loop, go through my loop and pull it tight. And you need to do this 3 times on each ending. That's so it doesn't come out. And then when you get done, cut a tail that's about 1/4 of an inch long. Don't cut it right next to the stitching, but about 1/4 of an inch long. And now this piece is ready to go onto the outside. But before I do this one, since I have another one exactly like this and I need white thread for it, I'm going to go ahead and finish that piece up before I attach the black piece to the bigger piece. Okay? Again, anytime you get finished with something, keep it in your bag, tuck it in your folder so that you don't lose any of your pieces, because it would be really terrible if you have to go back and recut stuff. So I'm ready to do my next piece. You know how to do this. Remember, don't let the needle lie flat on the table. I'm done for right now, so I am actually going to put my needle back into my little needle holder fabric piece like that, and back in my tub, put my thread away, lid back on. It's ready to clean up.